Okay, commas part four. Most of this I think you're going to find you already know. There may be a couple of exceptions though, so just pay attention as I get through this very quick video. Titles of people. Basically, if a title follows a name, you're going to want to put commas around it. Kind of think of it like it's non-essential. There's still going to be a sentence afterwards. Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, recommended we stay at home. You don't need to know that he's the governor of Minnesota to know that he recommended we stay at home, but sometimes we'll give people like that a title. They've earned it after all. And if they get it, you put commas around that stuff. Addresses. When you're putting a full address in a sentence, it goes like this. My parents have lived at 8654 West Donnywood Circle. As a comma after that, that's your street name. Britt, that's the name of the city. Minnesota, just the abbreviation there. And of course, no comma after that. And then the zip code. If the sentence continues on after that, you'll notice there is a comma after that zip code. And that same rule applies to these next two things, and this is probably the comma rule you're least familiar with today. You all probably know to put a comma between the city and the state, or the city and a country. South St. Paul, Minnesota, everybody knows to put a comma there. But if the sentence continues on, you got to also put it after the state. So South St. Paul, Minnesota is where a lot of great stories begin. I mean, obviously I'm talking about your stories right there, but you're going to put a comma after that. Down here on Friday, December 18th, 2009, the coolest kid ever was born. Obviously, that's Charlie, my youngest son. Jack will, well, he was born a different day. But anyway, there's a pause here on Friday, comma. Everybody knows to put a comma between the day and the year. But if the sentence continues, you're going to want to put one again after the year. So don't forget that, after the state or country and after the year, so long as the sentence continues. Now, you don't use a comma if it's just the month and the year, like March 1977, that's when I was born. So Deshaun, who thought I was 26, he was off just a shade under 2 decades, but I appreciate that. And then the day itself, March 23rd, should probably be a national holiday. You don't need any commas when it's just the month and the day. When you're doing references to books, literature, that sort of thing, there are natural pauses when you speak, and so you're going to want commas there. We read Act 1, Scene 1 of Shakespeare's Macbeth. We haven't, but we will in the spring. Anyway, you see a comma after the act, you see a comma after the scene, and you can hear those natural pauses there. Same thing with this next sentence. Open your books to chapter 7, page 96. You're going to put a comma after chapter 7 because there's a natural pause as you refer to the page number. Direct address means that you are talking to somebody directly and you are addressing them directly. Sometimes it's just an informal word, like in this first sentence right here. Dude, what are you doing? You put a comma after dude. Or you, my friend, have serious issues. You put a comma around the direct address, my friend. If it comes at the end of the sentence, then you put a comma before it. Thank you for your concern, Bobby. So anytime you're directly addressing a group, if I said, for example, class, please listen, you'd put a comma after class. Tag questions are just questions that you tag on at the end of a sentence. You went to the game, didn't you? Comma there. You're not stupid, are you? Comma there. So just remember, if you tag a little question at the end, you're going to put a comma before it. And then finally, you've probably known this since, I don't know, I remember 4th grade writing letters for an assignment. If you're going to start a letter to a friend, Dear John, comma. If you get a Dear John letter, I'm sorry. And then at the end, sincerely, comma, Jane. Or love, comma, Jane. So those are the comma rules for the week. Of course, you'll know the exercises in the week 9 folder. It's called exercise 4, titles, addresses, numbers, direct address, tag questions, and letter writing, which makes sense since those are the things that I just covered. Remember to use the drop-down menus for either no comma or comma, and that you got to get more than half right before I'll give you full credit for doing it. Bye.